But I do think as a collective, watching it back again after commentating, I did miss one or two things. We certainly put ourselves into a lot of trouble and probably gifted them two at least out of the 3 goals.
Yeah, I agree. You know, obviously we had the post-match reaction and did the analysis, but there were some good things to come out of it. The result was poor, but it was better. I bet, but than both you and I were expecting. To be fair. So, what did you watch the match, Jamie?
I saw the second half, and I thought it was a similar sort of, very similar to Celtic in that we played half a team with some young'uns and peripherals in the first half, then changed it completely at half time. So we'd never had our strongest team out, whereas Arsenal I think they kept the same team till about the hour mark, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, yeah. And then they brought the 15-year-olds on. I'll tell you something now, some of them kids for Arsenal were very good. Well, obviously, you've got Declan Rice as well.
But he's coming off an injury, isn't he?
Yeah,
I thought it was an improvement on Celtic. There was some really bright sparks, but it's just everywhere, like you were saying there, everywhere you go in the field, there's a worry. So Botman goes off. The commentators were saying at one point that Shea looked like he was feeling his hamstring, and you're like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah. What are they doing? What's been going on?
The defence just seems so undercooked, you know. Shea and Byrne have been brilliant for us for years, but they're getting on a bit, and you need rotation in the Champions League season. And if Botman's injured again, then that's just bloody... That's terrible. And then you've got the Pope situation as well, where he sort of seems to be... I still think he's a great goalie, but we do with at least someone who's a reasonable challenger to him, which looks like being Aaron Ramsdale.
Yeah, there you go then. So Aaron Ramsdale apparently they've agreed to a degree on a loan, I believe it is, and this is from Romano. So Southampton have agreed with a loan to Boy. It's just the fee now, apparently. So he's happy. He said yes to Newcastle. So it seems as if it's a go, which does he? And I want to ask:
is that an obligation to buy?
At the minute, the wording is with an option, so not an obligation.
Right,
it's an option to buy. So I still don't think, though, if I'm honest with you, if Eddie Howe's thinking that this lad is going to give you that 1 or 2% better with his feet, I still ain't. It's not proven to me with Ramsdale. Are we losing? Go on.
Ramsdale's season when Arsenal came, you know, when they were the season when they were pushing Man City really hard for the title. He got into the England team then as well. He had a really good season that season. But even though he had a really good season, the Arsenal fans blamed him on a lot of the Arsenal pods. They were blaming him for the odd points that they lost, which was the difference, the 1 or 2% that you're talking about between them winning the title and not winning the title.
I suppose it makes a change from blaming the referee, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, this was the fans, not Arteta.
I'll tell you what, I think, let's call this what it is. It's a stick and plaster. They thought they had James Trafford. They should have got James Trafford. They should have put the extra money in. Some of the testimonies of Trafford that I've heard, and people weren't sold on him on this side a few months ago, but everyone who's been involved with him through England's youth, like Ashley Cole, Julian Lescott, have said he's a great goalie. He's going to be the England goalie for 10 years. That's worth 40 million of your money. That plan's been scuppered. So I think this is actually not a bad option in that it's like a plan for this season, because we need to be looking elsewhere other than goalkeeper as priority. It's a plan for this season, and then look at the long-term goalie across there. He's maybe even thinking, if Edison stays at Man City and Trafford spends a season on the bench, he might get the hump a little bit and he might be available in 12 months' time. but this is not a long-term solution. But as a short-term solution, what I would say is, where I am at the minute, it'll do, because I want a right-sided centre-half. I want 2 strikers, whether Alexander Isak's one of them or not. And then I don't think the goalie situation is going to cost us too much this year.
Yeah, according to...
By the way, the Manchester Evening News that I looked at just before there with regard to Ederson, apparently Galatasaray are now in for him. And Man City are willing
They're trying to keep him, aren't they?
Well, no. It says Man City are open to offers, but it's all about his personal terms.
Wow. You know, for me, it was there's a person I would have liked to have seen in a Newcastle strip.
Oh yeah,
Ederson.
You want to see somebody passing with their feet? He's the guy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even though I don't think he's the world's best shot stopper, he's certainly somebody who can utilise his feet. I look at this guy. They Connor's just put in the chat there. They reckon it's 25 million or somewhere in that region, according to Ben Jacobs. But they again, that is the stumbling block. The stumbling block is they want a higher fee. So
I mean, Jim Plunkett's saying there, Pope's just rusty. Dubs and Pope are fine for next season, but that's if we keep Dubs.
Well, I mean, like I say, Dubs was potentially going to Burnley in some type of swap deal for Trafford. That's what they were trying to iron out, and that's why they left him here, and he didn't fly out to Singapore. So there was obviously some deal going on, and even like I say, one thing that annoyed me though, Jay, was the fact that we could have got him for 25 million last year, Trafford.
Yeah, but we didn't have the 25 million last year.
Well, we apparently we did. Because we were willing to spend 60 million in January.
Yeah, well, we wouldn't have got him in January, would we?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It would have been at the end of the summer, but it would have meant some movement, wouldn't it?
We're selling Anderson
and Minter. That's what I said. It would have meant some movement. That's what I said.
The books.
Yeah, but we've got 6 keepers. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know,
I tell you, the biggest cock up of the summer.
What was ludicrous for me, when we've got Vlachodimos on the bench, who cost us 27 million on paper, and we're putting on 49-year-old John Ruddy. You know, how bad is Vlachodimos? How bad must he be for not give him a friendly against us?
Well, I wonder if it's a little bit of brinkmanship, though, because they're touting him for a loan, aren't they?
That's what I said.
I think Villarreal have been mentioned. And I think
they're holding him back, aren't they? So they don't risk him.
Is to take the next offer.
Yeah.
You know?
But isn't it stupid, though, when you think about it? You know, you could get injured in training. I mean, how much wool do you wrap a player in to say, like, you know, if he's available to go, this guy should be, like I say, he should be like Isak and wrapped in cotton wool and told to stay at home, surely in bed. You don't risk anybody. Foxy, I'll just put it up on the screen. What Ramsdale's buyback price that you've just seen, I was going to mention it, but Connor's been in there and mentioned it in the chat. 25 million, but that fee isn't high enough according to Southampton. He's definitely going on another hunger strike if it's a higher price. That will be 3 hunger strikes if we get DCL and Ballerdi. Yeah, get yourself food before you start, buddy. Geordie Dan saying, have you seen Ramsdale stats worse than Popes and Dubs? Again,
he's been playing for Southampton.
Southampton, you know, with a really poor defence in front of him. And now
the thing that really concerned me about Ramsdale was when he came out and said, out of his mouth, his own words, I find it difficult to concentrate for 90 minutes.
For 90 minutes, yeah. That was one of the worst things I've ever heard for a goalkeeper.
Have you ever seen the goalie concedes where he gets distracted by a pigeon? There's a pigeon on the pitch, and he's looking at it and they're scoring the opposite corner. Oh, that big tip out.
Yeah. It is in a really sorry state of play at the minute. And like I say, I have to question whether he is going to make us better, or are we just going to be the same? And for me, it's potentially going to be the same. Chris mentioned it. We saw it when we watched the match. There's obviously pep football coming our way more and more by the looks of the way the lads tried to play against Arsenal. Certainly doesn't fill you full of confidence at times with the way we play.
Don't forget to smash the like button. It helps us a lot to keep growing. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, activate all notifications, that way you get notified every time we go live. And don't forget, you can become a member, get exclusive content, access to all of our live shows on demand at the time that you want. Also, of course, giveaways every month, sometimes multiple giveaways a month. So stay tuned for that, check it out, help support the channel. It's a small fee, and of course, you help us and grow. If you hate the Mackhams, smash that like button.
To say the bleeding races. When we got the wheel put on, away we went again. But them that had their noses broke, they came back our him. Some went to the dispensary, and some to Dr. Gibbs's, and some to the informer.